quiet house. A late-night storm. I only meant to borrow a drink. But one word from Ethan changed everything. When the power went out, we stayed in the glow of a single candle, sharing secrets we'd never dared to speak. I wasn't supposed to be in his room. But I stayed, and nothing was the same after dawn. Please subscribe to Blind Thoughts and press the bell icon so you never miss our next story. My name is Madeline Grant, but almost everyone calls me Maddie. I used to think of our house as two halves stitched together. My mother's world and the world of her new husband, with a quiet seam of awkwardness between them. 3 summers ago, when Mom married Thomas Grant, I gained a stepbrother, Ethan Grant, and a new last name. I also inherited a whole set of unspoken rules. Rule 1. We were supposed to treat each other like siblings. Rule 2. We never crossed into each other's private spaces without knocking. I broke both rules the night everything changed. The August air was thick with humidity, the kind that makes the evening smell of cut grass and distant rain. Mom and Thomas had left for a weekend retreat, leaving Ethan and me to keep an eye on the house. Ethan, 2 years older and impossibly composed, spent most of the evening strumming his guitar in the converted attic. I tried to study downstairs, but the sound of his low, thoughtful chords pulled at me like a thread. Around 10, I climbed the creaky stairs with a flimsy excuse. "Hey, do you have any of those iced teas left in the mini fridge up here?" He looked up from the worn couch, a faint smile quirking his lips. "Sure. Grab one. Or stay a while. It's not like there's a curfew." A single word, casual as a shrug, but it lingered in the space between us. His room smelled like cedar and a hint of cologne, comforting and unfamiliar all at once. Posters of indie bands lined the sloped walls, their edges curled from summer heat. "You know," I said, taking the tea, "I've lived here almost 3 years and never actually hung out in your room." He set his guitar aside and patted the cushion next to him. "Guess we're overdue." I sat, trying to ignore the way my pulse quickened. The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was thick with a kind of electricity I couldn't name. "You ever feel like this house is quieter than it should be?" he asked finally. "All the time," I admitted. "Like we're guests in someone else's story." His eyes met mine, a deep hazel that caught the warm light. "Maybe tonight we write our own." We talked until the clock blinked past midnight. About college plans, music, the ache of missing the parents we'd each lost to divorce. I told him things I hadn't told anyone. How I sometimes felt invisible at school, how I hated the pressure to always smile. He listened with a focus that felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Maddie, you don't have to hide how you feel," he said softly. Something inside me loosened like a knot untying. "Thanks, Ethan, for seeing me." He smiled, but there was a flicker of something deeper, something that made the air feel charged again. When he went to refill our drinks, my eyes drifted to a battered sketchbook on his desk. Curiosity 1. Inside were drawings of landscapes, the lake near our cabin, and a girl with wind-tangled hair who looked eerily like me. I froze. When he returned, he caught me staring. "You draw?" I asked, my voice a whisper. He rubbed the back of his neck. "Sometimes. It's easier than talking." "She's beautiful," I said. He held my gaze. "You are." The words hung between us like a secret neither of us had planned to share. A sudden crack of thunder shook the attic. Rain hammered the roof, and the power flickered out, plunging us into darkness except for the faint glow of his phone flashlight. "Great," I muttered, heart thudding. "Don't worry," he said. "I've got candles." He lit one, the soft flame throwing golden light across his face. We sat side by side, listening to the rain, the candles' glow making the room feel like a world apart. I should have left then. That I stayed. The conversation slowed, replaced by the quiet rhythm of rain and our breathing. "Ethan," I said finally, "do you ever wonder what our lives would have been like if our parents hadn't married?" He hesitated. "All the time. And maybe I would have met you anyway," he said, voice low. "Maybe I would have wanted to." My heart stumbled. We were supposed to be family now, yet nothing about this moment felt like family. It felt inevitable. When the thunder cracked again, I flinched. Ethan reached for my hand instinctively, warmly. I let him. We should probably get some sleep, I whispered, though neither of us moved. You can stay here if you're nervous about the storm, he said. I'll take the floor. But when he grabbed an extra blanket, I caught his arm. You don't have to. He searched my face, uncertainty and something else shining there. Maddie. I shook my head, not to stop him but to say I trust you. He lay down beside me, careful to keep space between us. Still, the nearness of him was enough to steady my heartbeat. I didn't sleep much. We whispered in the dark about music, about fears, about how unfair life can be. At some point the storm faded, but neither of us reached for the door. It wasn't about breaking rules or crossing lines. It was about being two people who understood each other in a way no one else did. When dawn light spilled across the attic, I finally drifted off with my head on his shoulder, feeling safer than I'd felt in years. The scent of rain and cedar lingered when I woke. Ethan was still beside me, eyes closed, breathing steady. For a moment I let myself simply be. No titles, no rules, just Maddie and Ethan. When he stirred, our eyes met and we both smiled, sleepy but sure. Good morning, he whispered. Morning, I replied. We didn't speak of what the night meant. We didn't need to. Life resumed. School, friends, family dinners. But something subtle had shifted. We shared secret smiles across the table, inside jokes no one else understood. We didn't rush into defining it. We didn't have to. The night in his room had given us something rarer than labels. The certainty that we mattered to each other no matter how complicated the world outside might be.